Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. I'm your host, Charlie, and today we're joined by Caitlin.
Hey!
What's up? We have a lot of updates to get through. I feel like we've lived a million lifetimes since the last time we spoke. But let's start with Pod Circle because that's positive.
Yes, that's a great place to start. Oh my gosh. Yes. What a wonderful
It
pod
feels
circle we had.
yes, it feels like a million lifetimes ago. But last Thursday, we had our Pod Circle meeting at Fayetteville Public Library, and it was so cool. Um, Somehow, I think Ty from Arkansas Podcast Collaborative got it on the news, and then, like, I would say probably 30 people or more showed up.
Yeah. There was like a ton of people there.
And it was people with podcasts of all different kinds, and it was just really fun to get to know everybody and like swap industry stuff with other people that are in the podcast industry.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this podcast because you went to Pod Circle, leave a comment or let us know that you're actually listening because that's
I
cool.
know, it would be super cool. Okay, so that was Pod Circle. That was really cool. And then I've had like the busiest of work possible. Like I had two events. One of them was a major festival. I had to open my seasonal activity that I do at work. That is like it's like my highest season. So
Yeah,
I
it's your time to
am
shine.
just yes, I am just I had 15 plus hours of overtime in
Oh my
this
goodness.
this week. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Um so yeah, I'm like running on fumes over here, but you're running on fumes for a very different reason.
Yeah. I kind of so Jed told me I had survivor's guilt because I have been wanting to like if stay home then okay, let's backtrack. There was a freaking tornado.
Rewind. Saturday night at 2 a.m., all of our phones go off and we go to their tornado shelters.
Yeah. Well, no, some of us do. Some of us, like me, I'm in bed like, oh, it's fine. They're like, it's in Centerton, which is right next to my where I live, and I'm like, oh, it's not here. It's going the other way. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I delirium just was like, we're fine. Everything's fine, which we were, thank
Hmm.
God. But
Hmm.
apparently now we know there was definitely like a huge one that came within streets
It
of
was like
my
record
home.
setting huge. It was
Yeah.
like a mile wide.
Yeah. And
Um, I'm
I
sure
mean,
people have seen the news.
yeah.
It's been a huge tornado in Northwest Arkansas. And
Yeah.
thankfully, my biggest concern was keeping insulin cold and having to take a cold shower. Those are my two
Oh,
biggest things. But you had much worse damage than
yeah. Did you
you
have
have
a
the worst
generator?
damage. Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
However, we were just like using ice packs until it came
Oh,
time to
you
use the
were
generator, and we never.
lucky.
It was
So,
only like we were only out for like 12 hours.
okay. I woke up Sunday morning. I mean, the power went out at like 2 a.m. And at that point, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was like, all right, family, just go to sleep. Everything's fine. And I feel bad, like, even not realizing the severity of the situation. Like, didn't cross my mind that anything bad could happen. Well, the shop got busted up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Ah,
so like the strip mall where the Wellnest shop was is going to get demolished because it had such bad damage.
yes, at least that's what we heard last. Who knows? But I can't imagine. It's it, it ain't there no more.
Yeah. So Caitlin, I mean, honestly, like the universe was kind of looking out for you guys because you had already like rented another space trying to like open up a podcast studio
Yes.
like
So
the week before.
I know. I remember it being at Pod Circle, like, yeah, I got my own podcast studio. I'm cool.
And then
And then it's
sidetrack,
like,
you actually have to move all of your stuff in there.
yeah, but it was so funny because I went in there. So we had gosh, I want to say there was like 15 people that came
Mhm.
out and helped us pack everything up and move it to the storage studio area.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's funny because I went in the next day to add more stuff. It's packed to the hilt. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. And I was like, oh gosh, it smells like the Wellnest shop. It smells so nice in here. Like it's just so
Aw.
funny. It's like, oh, that's so nice. It was hard, like sorting through all the glass and everything. But I mean, honestly, serendipity. So okay, when this episode comes out, there won't be a secret anymore, I'm assuming. And if you're probably a pretty VIP if you're listening to this podcast, but I'll just let you guys know, be the first secret tellers. We got a new place. So we were
Yay.
yeah, we were driving around Tuesday after so we were packing up shelving and like dusting things off. It was real kind of nasty. But they were like, let's take a break and drive around and look for lease signs because we need a new place to go. And it just happened to be that we come across this little place and we peek it in the windows and this guy comes over and he looks like Santa Claus. And you're gonna laugh when I tell you his name. I mean, I guess I can
Is
tell
it
you,
Chris
right?
Kringle?
No,
I-
dude. His name is Ty King. TY.
that's
Yeah.
that's that's crazy because Ty King is the name of the podcasters Arkansas podcasters founder that we work with for Pod Circle and the podcasting conference and all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, we were like, this has to be crazy because we're peeking in the windows and he comes up and he's like, hey, are y'all looking for a place? We're like, well, actually, yes. We would love to have a place. So there's this barber shop that is leaving and they the June 1st is whenever we can move in. So we're staging a task force to get everything, all the stuff out of the studio and into the new shop. And we're going to set up shelves and get things cleaned up and change things around. We have to do a minimal work to get it to where it looks like it's our place, not an old barber shop. But
Hmm.
it shouldn't take much work. I'm kind of excited. My mom is coming in to help me with the kids, so that's going to be great.
That's good because you're already trying to convince your mom to come here too,
I
to move
know. I'm
here.
like, now you can kind of look at houses. she, I told you her house is up for sale.
Has
I
she
think that
is she getting any movement on it?
not really. I don't know. Maybe she priced it too high because I was trying to convince her not to move too quickly. But I think the realtor talked her to into like lowering the price, and they may. So it's funny. After Katrina, talking
Yeah.
about natural disasters, my bedroom was destroyed during Katrina, and whenever they revamped, like whenever they did the house again, they decided to change it from a bedroom into like an open area. So it was
Hmm.
more like open studio and like where they had like an office space or whatever. So they really did not good because it's technically not a bedroom anymore because it doesn't have a door.
Oh, so they lost a bedroom and that's
Yeah.
why their price is different than
Yeah,
they
so
expected.
I told her I was like just add on a door, and I think that will make all the difference for people that really
Hmm.
need that true fourth bedroom.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper to add on a door than to lower the price by $10,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. A door's way cheaper than $10,000.
Right? That's why I'm like, okay, like if I guess you have to figure out what people are wanting. I don't know. The real estate market's crazy, and it was so funny because I was listening. I was listening to the episode with your sister, and you were talking about there's a beach in Louisiana, and she's like, "That's not a beach. It is not a beach."
I don't know. I've never been there.
It is not a beach. It's like they tried to pretend to put a beach in Mandeville, and there was
Mhm.
definitely alligators that would like climb up on the beach and like hang out.
Ooh,
Like,
that's a no for
yeah,
me.
yeah. You
I've
could
watched
go to the
Lake
beach in
Placid one too many
Mississippi, but it's
times.
gonna be dirty. Like, it's not. It's not a lovely place. You have to get all the way to Alabama before the beach is actually nice.
Well, I am not a connoisseur of East Coast beaches, that's for sure. Um,
Yeah,
I've
Gulf
been
Coast
to
living.
I've been to Florida like one time, I think, twice maybe.
Oh
I've
man.
not
Did you
done
go to
the
Disney World? What did you go to Florida
I've never
for?
even been to Disney World. My sister used to be stationed there.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so on my 18th birthday, my parents were gone. My mom was in another country and my stepdad was traveling for work. So I was like, I'm 18 years old. I'm going to buy a plane ticket to Florida because I can. And
Oh
so I bought a plane ticket to Florida and went to my sister's house.
yeah. That's awesome. Had you ever been on a plane before?
Oh yeah, my parents are
Okay.
divorced, and one lived in Virginia and one lived in California. So
So did they like fly you around with like the helper?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I was an unaccompanied minor a lot, like so much that the flight attendants knew who I was.
That's wild.
Like even we were like flying like around the time of 9/11, like into DC. We had a flight that was supposed to like fly into DC like the day after 9/11 or whatever, and they canceled all the flights into all the major cities or whatever for like 2 weeks, and so we got
Oh
stuck
my.
in California.
So you were on the flight. You were like in the airport during 9/11?
No, I wasn't in the airport. I was scheduled for like the day after or something, but then once they like grounded all flight traffic for like the next 2 weeks, we got stuck because like I was supposed to go on like September 12th, but then when September 11th happened, they like said nobody gets to fly for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. I stopped watching the news after September 11th. That's when I was like, no.
I just remember that like we flew there and there was like no restrictions, and then we flew back and like that's when security became a big huge deal.
They're like stripped.
So it was crazy. And I remember like we were searching, and this was before the internet where you could just like Google flight things. You had to like actually know what you were doing and like call the airlines or go to a travel agent or something. And
And they tell
we
you
were just
which.
like searching for like the closest flight ever. Or like, and so my stepdad was gonna have to like come pick us up from North Carolina because that was like the closest we could get. And then the next, I think we flew to North Carolina and then we stayed the night there. And then we found from North Carolina to Washington, D.C. like the next day.
Wow.
I have very, very foggy memories, but the only thing that I remember from that time was it was the first time I ever rode in a taxi.
Oh. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember I was going into algebra class the morning of September 11th, and there was a kid that told me Osama bin Laden. No, 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 no. He said Saddam Hussein blew up the Twin Towers, and I was like, I don't even know what the Twin Towers are.
Yeah, I had no like knowledge of what they were either. But my stepdad did work at the Pentagon at that time, so I was a
Oh
little
my
like stressed out.
gosh. Yeah, I imagine he was a little stressed out. So a plane did hit the Pentagon then.
Yeah, it really
He
did.
can verify.
Oh yeah. And like okay, so later in life I lived in when I graduated college, my mom and stepdad moved to Washington DC and I lived there after college because like you move in with your parents after college.
Right?
And so I I moved in with them and I ended up getting a job in a hotel next to the White House doing like mic lines and lightings for press releases and galas and stuff like that. But like while I was living with them, we literally lived um, close enough to the Pentagon that we could like go on our balcony and see the part of the Pentagon that got hit.
Oh my gosh,
It was crazy.
that's wild.
Yeah.
So, do you
So,
ever think about going into public office?
why do you ask that?
I don't know. I just had a friend say that she wanted to sign up to be like, I don't know, some sort of small town something or other and needed 60 signatures. And I was like, I guess that's how it starts, where you just need some signatures. Like, how do you even
Hmm.
become a civil servant?
Well, I ran my first campaign when I was 16 years old. So,
Oh, so it's
um,
just setting
yeah,
up.
yeah, I've done it my whole life. I grew up on the campaign trail, but I so you start with like going door to door and asking for signatures, which is why anytime anybody asks me to sign anything for like a petition, I will sign it. I don't care what it is, because not because like this is my personal feeling. Like I don't really care what the petition is about, but I support the right for anyone to get a petition for anything to be out there. Like if it's even if it's like tigers or whatever, if my neighbor wants to have tigers come to the neighborhood, like good for you. Like this is America. You can do whatever you want. I will sign that petition, because if you can get people to do it, then good for you. You did it. But so that's how I feel about it. If anybody puts any petition in front of me, I will sign it, because I have been the person going door to door before, and it is not easy. It's a lot of work. So just for the fact that they are out there doing it, I will sign it, and I don't care what it's about.
Do you also buy Girl Scout cookies?
I do buy Girl Scout cookies from my nieces who sell them to me, and I buy one from every single one of my nieces if they call me.
See,
I make them call me.
I'll tell Toby to call you for football money.
Not football money. I mean, maybe it depends on what he's selling. But
I
if
think they
I
just want straight up donations. They're not even selling anything. How cheap
what
is
no
that?
no
I
no,
know,
you got to
right?
have a
They're like,
sales
just
pitch.
give us money. They're like,
I'm not gonna
please,
do that. But I also
money.
was a Girl Scout. Do you know my random Girl Scout flex?
No, but I
I have
was a Girl Scout too. It was like my favorite time of my life. Tell me your
Aw.
flex.
I have a very specific flex when it comes to Girl Scouting.
All right.
I went all the way through Girl Scouts. I didn't leave at Brownies with everybody else. I went all the way through to the end, and I didn't even have a troop whenever I was in high school because I lived in such a small town. But what I did is I went and did my Gold Award, which is the highest award you can get as a Girl Scout. And then from doing my Gold Award, I got recommended to go onto a committee that goes to National Girl Scout Conference. And when you go to National Girl Scout Conference, they present like Girl Scouting issues. And so, like, and then Girl Scouts and then Girl Scout leaders get to vote on the different issues that come up. And the year that I went, they the issue one of the issues that we voted on was whether or not we should sell our recipes to other companies. So every time you see Thin Mint ice cream, you better tell me thank you, because I voted for that to happen.
Nice. You know what I used to love, and I don't think they make it anymore, and it's probably not good for you, so don't judge me. But at the time, I loved the Thin Mint coffee creamer from Coffee Bean.
Mm,
It was bomb.
yes,
So
so
if
good,
you're
so good.
responsible for that, I'm gonna have to tell you thank you.
I
And my friend Joe will also tell you thank you because I remember when it was going out, she was like, "Buy as many as you can find."
You're welcome. I did that. The one that I found the most recently that I am like obsessed with is okay, so you know how Skippy peanut butter has those like peanut butter balls
Yeah.
that you can like just get in like a little
Uh-huh.
container, and they're not like, I don't know what they're, I mean it's like peanut butter, but it's just like cocoa puffs kind of,
Yeah.
but soft. Okay, well
Yeah.
they have those in Girl Scout flavors, and they have the tag along flavor. Oh my gosh, those ones are the best.
I wonder how much Girl Scouts sold their recipes for.
I
Do you
don't
think they
know.
made bank doing that?
But yeah, absolutely. I think they may bank, and I think it was like the thing that's like keeping them afloat right now, because I don't think that they're making that much money off of $6 a box
Yeah.
of cookies.
Well, that's what. So I used to sell Girl Scout cookies, and that's why when you talk about going door to door, like my like Girl Scout trauma is like, yeah, I remember doing that. Like,
Hey, hey, it builds skills. You now can you sell things for a living now. You're
I know,
welcome.
right? And you know something that's really funny? So when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store, and I remember thinking like, I love this job. Like I could do this forever. Like I loved being a cashier.
Mhm.
But like society tells you like you you're you're destined for more. You know, you're like you can't
Mhm.
just be a cashier at the grocery store forever.
Boo, you can be
So,
a cashier at the
but
grocery
you
store
totally
forever.
can, right? And I know I was like happiness is everything. So yeah, I just think it's so funny it's come full circle, and I'm like, yep, cashier. It's great.
Well, that's awesome. Um, but I think that I was having this discussion with some people at work today. Like I think that the people who have it really figured out are like the plumbers and the electricians.
Yep,
They get paid to go to school, and then they get paid more than people who go for many, many years to school.
yep.
And once they get out.
I know. I would love to have a plumber in the family.
Yeah, right? It's like better than having a doctor, I feel like.
Yeah, way better. It's just so I've joked about. I'm like I should become a plumber, but it is hard work. Like you have to get under houses
Yeah,
sometimes,
I'm not about
like
that.
dig up, get up under there. Like they deserve all that money. And
Yeah. They deal with other people's poop. If it was just water, it would be a different story, but it's other people's poop.
yeah,
Anybody who has to
oh,
deal with other people's poops deserves a bonus.
especially lab people because that shit was disgusting. They used to do 48-hour stool collections. Maybe it
Ooh.
was 72 hours. It was 3 days worth of shit in a bucket. And you had to, so there was this guy I worked with, and every time we get a bucket, I'd be like, oh no, I'm just gonna like play damsel in distress and be like, will you stir the poo and do what you need to do with the poo bucket? But oh my God, that was disgusting. And then they
Oh
told,
no.
yeah, they then my another lady I worked with, she was like, I thought I figured out the secret because they wanted you to like mix it and make it a specific
Ew.
consistency. I'm sorry, I'm grossing you out.
No.
Hopefully nobody's eating dinner, but like if you work with poo, you should be making way more money than they were paying us.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, think about it. All the people that work with poop, like they're not highly paid people. I can't think of one except for maybe doctors that and plumbers.
and they don't even do any of the touching the poo. The doctors don't do that unless they're doing
Mhm.
like a colonoscopy, but even then they've got it all cleaned out.
Mhm.
They don't touch poo.
But like janitors, they have to touch poo.
And throw up. Oh my God, think about the
Yeah.
poor school kids that like every time they just puke and then they just call
Daycare
the
people.
custodian. Yeah, poor guys.
Yeah, not good.
Sorry, listeners.
I at my last job I had poo horror stories that I it's just so bad I can't even tell. But
Oh my goodness.
just know that when you work in mental health, there is a lot of poo
Oh yeah,
that
because you can write with it.
yeah. And not only that, but people who don't enjoy their lives tend to swallow things
Oh,
that they
gross.
don't that they shouldn't be swallowing.
Oh no. Don't put
And it
that
all
in.
comes out one way or another.
Oh,
It's
poor
not good.
people. Man, yeah, that's another special case. See, what I don't understand is why they don't cover mental health like um training, like to become like a therapist or a counselor or anybody that works with people with mental illness, like that should be free. We should have
Yeah.
more
I think
people
being a
qualified.
doctor should be free to go to school if you want to be a
Yeah,
doctor because
because
they're
well,
already
no, but
making
the
so
thing
much
is,
money in the whole
the
system.
reason why it's not free is so that they can have control over them. Because then they're in debt so much that they'll
Yeah.
do whatever the people pulling the strings want them to.
Yeah. And I feel like the trouble with like the one of the biggest troubles with the American medical system is that doctors all have to answer to a license.
Yeah.
And if there's a license that they have to answer to before the patient, then that license will always come first. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, you have high blood pressure, I have to put you on this prescription because my license tells me I have to.
Right.
Not instead of like, let's try this other remedy that might not be um, like medical intervention, but
Like diet
will
change.
that could be just as effective.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, anything that has like a forced recommendation is not not good.
Hmm. I mean, there are definitely situations that call for it. I talked with Victoria about this before, but
Yeah, I was listening to that one. I mean, yeah, there's they're not always bad guys, and
yeah,
honestly, truthfully, like who really is gonna give the lifestyle change an honest try? Maybe they're
mhm.
like, we know you won't do that, so here, this will help, like,
Hmm. Well, that's what I like to say all the time because it comes up in birth all the time. Like, doctors don't wake up and be like, "Whose birth can I ruin today?" or "Whose life
right.
can I ruin today?" That's not what they're thinking at all. It's all because they have to like answer to this license that allows them to do what they want to do.
Hmm.
But what do I know? I'm just a podcaster.
Speaking of being a podcaster, what do you feel like a podcaster dresses like? Because I always love your fashion choices, and whenever we were at the pod circle, I noticed everybody had like really cool fashion. And
Oh,
I was like, so
wow. I
what?
feel flattered because I have literally no idea what I'm doing.
Oh no, you're doing it. You're doing it. And
Well,
I love seeing people that know what they're doing with fashion. I got a book once about
mhm,
creating your perfect closet. It's called like the curated closet. And I'm like,
mhm.
yeah, one day I'm gonna have like a cute little capsule wardrobe and everything's gonna match with everything else. But it talks about like buying classic things that fit and tailor them and da da da. And I'm like, wow, one day I'm gonna be like adult enough to have
I'll tell
like
you right now, everything I know about fashion came from What Not to Wear in Queer Eye.
I do love them. Oh my god, I used to love this. What not to
So
wear, especially.
that's where I learned a lot of the fashion tips that I have. And then I also follow like some people on Instagram that are plus size, like um fashion blogger kind of people. And I think that helps because it like helps me to see that people that are my size can
Yeah,
find things that look nice on them.
yeah.
Because
I
that's a hard
followed
thing
this
to
one
remember.
lady who's like apple shaped fashion. I was like, I'm an apple. That's my everybody else that they always have all these like beautiful curves. I'm like, I'm round. I need where's round girl fashion?
Round girl fashion.
But nobody wants to claim that they're apple shaped. I'm like, it's a thing. We exist. We're meatballs.
Yeah, I don't think of you as a meatball.
Ever since, do you know the what is it, the Jersey Shore Snooki?
Mhm.
She referred to herself as a meatball. I felt seen.
You're absurd. I do not. Meatball is not at all what comes to mind whenever I think about your body shape.
I might have body dysmorphia. Victoria talked about that. I'm like, yeah, that's probably real.
I think it's easy to get in American culture as a woman.
Oh my god, yeah. We're all still just trying to like unlearn the stuff that the magazines like shove down our throats. We're like, where it's okay to exist the way I am, okay.
Definitely. Well, I think I also didn't give my mom enough credit, but she's also a plus size woman that taught me how to dress a plus size body, and she has done a really good job at like dressing herself too. So I think that that kind of stirred me in the right direction. Actually, I don't know if this is I well, when I turned 18, my parents made me like throw away all my clothes and make me buy new clothes because I was an adult.
Oh
So
no.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
As
that's
an
something that
adult,
happened.
so like what, you had to wear blazers? Like
Yeah, basically.
You are 18 now.
So embarrassing, but I made it work. It was fine. I
Well,
went to
I
college.
I didn't allow myself to shop at American Eagle past 17, 18.
Hmm.
I was like,
Okay.
yeah, so I can see that there was certain stores that I associated with being young that I was like, no, you are
Kenzie
much too old for that.
Kenzie always gives me crap about when I turned 24. I was like, hey, I was like, I have to start dressing like I'm 24 now. I don't know why. But I like went to Dress Barn and bought a leather jacket and I thought I was 24 then.
What does 30 look like?
I don't know, man. I gave up after that. And so now I just like my life is like I would prefer to be wearing sweatpants and things that feel nice on my body. However, I work a job where I have to look presentable and nice. So I try to look as nice as possible. And
Yeah,
so that if I could just like work remote and only have to wear nice things from the like shoulders up, that'd be great. So
yeah, that would be.
podcasting, let's make that happen. That's
Yes.
what I think podcasters wear nothing on the bottom and nice clothes on top. That's what I think. To answer
So
your question.
my grandpa was a news reporter, and
Mhm.
I don't know if this was just a funny story or if it really happened, but he would say that he would dress in his suit on the top and then wear shorts on the bottom because you didn't
Mhm.
see that part. So
I think it's real, at least for shoes. I feel like report I've seen like Instagrams of reporters where they're like, here are me and my sneakers behind the desk or whatever.
you know, I feel bad for lady people on the news, like whether they're reporters or whether ladies or whatever they are, because they always have these outfits and everybody feels like they get to comment on what they wear. Like if you ever follow any lady weather people, I don't know.
I think that's just being a woman in America.
It's just
Everybody
being a
feels they
woman.
have the right to
Like,
comment on
yeah,
what
they're
you're
like, let
wearing.
me comment on what, oh, that outfit today looks a little tight on you, honey. Or, you know, and it's like, oh, that's terrible that because, well, I guess you're right. I guess that's just being on the TV. People think that they get to say whatever. And
Yeah,
just
or
being a
social
woman. That's
media.
true. Yeah.
I think it's just American culture and
You're
being a
putting
woman.
yourself up for the feast.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, so I'm gonna get the next time we get to hang out is I'm gonna help you move into your new shop, and I feel really excited about that.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
I am really, really pumped. I can't believe that it's even real life. It's just crazy how serendipity it's all worked out. And
The only thing I wish is I wish this place had a kitchen for you.
yeah, that would be nice. So there is like a little like break room, but it's not really a kitchen. Like it's not some, I wouldn't use it as a place that we could like get shit done in.
But like, do they have like hair washing bowls?
They do. And so right now there's currently two like hair washing bowls. And we're like, we should keep one and hire a stylist to come in the corner. but, but no, they're going to remove the hair washing bowls and then
Because it
they're
doesn't
going to,
it go with the people?
no, I think it's the owners. I think that
Oh,
the landlord said that he like finished out this, like it was to the studs or whatever, but he finished it out for the person that was leasing it before, but it just didn't work out. And well, because they had two barbershops right next to each other, like
oh,
that's not a good idea.
should have known.
But like,
Capitalism.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work for the. But we're grateful that they're moving on to better pastures, and we are taking their cool space.
But okay, so if there's washing bowls, then that means that there's water there
So yeah,
and
we're gonna
sewer
put a
there.
sink. Yeah, we're gonna put a big sink that we can like use to wash up with. But I mean, we could.
You could do like Bath and Body Works and have a soap testing sink.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I forgot about that. Would you like to wash your
Yeah.
hands?
Yeah,
Oh,
you want
that's
to
a
try
good
the soap
idea.
out?
Ooh, I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm a thinker like that.
That's not a bad idea because you don't know how many times people make a mess and they're like, "I need to wash up," because I mean, I say people, it's me. No, but yeah, it's not always easy refilling stuff.
Yeah, yeah, especially because there's so much like overage. You could have like you could put like one of those like metal like farms or like utilitarian like
I would like
restaurant looking
that.
sinks,
Yeah.
and then you could like have people have like dishes for people to wash for the dish soap too. Like, want
Yeah,
to
make
try the
them do
dish
our
soap?
dishes.
You don't believe it foams up or like whatever.
Wash my coffee cup.
Do my dishes.
Customer.
No, I just mean like you could have it, like sample stuff for
So they
people
can
to
see.
try out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like
Or
it.
they
I
could
like
wash
it.
their jars out before they refill them.
Yes. So they don't smell like spaghetti.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm a thinker,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness. I love
But
it.
if there's a sink there, then a sink is like the main component of a kitchen.
Yeah, that's true. Then you just need heat. And we could
Yeah.
really do a hot pad. It's not
Yeah.
like, so yeah, that's not a bad
Or
idea.
yeah, you could get like a tabletop like
Hmm.
Blackstone or
But we
whatever to
do
plug
have a
in.
kitchen at the podcast studio. Did
Ah,
you know that? That's one
I
of the
didn't know that.
benefits of the podcast studio is that it actually also has a full size kitchen that you could freaking cook turkey dinner in. It's like this like office building that for some reason has a full size kitchen in it, like
You know
stove.
what we should do? We should have game nights there.
We should. It's
And we
it's
should
big enough for it.
we should do that. And we should have those like theme parties from Instagram where they're like everybody come dressed as your favorite 90s movie or like
Oh my
whatever.
god. I saw somebody they did that, but it was like colors and everybody was assigned a color and they had to wear that color and like bring food that was that
Mhm.
color. And I was like, that's such a funny idea.
I've heard like anything but charcuterie, and like everybody has to like bring like it's like wings and dip or whatever instead of like meat and cheese. It's like everything's on plates, but it's like anything but charcuterie. And so people will bring all different kinds of like stuff. Like they'll bring like jello on a plate or something. I don't know. I saw this one. Somebody did a TikTok about it sometime.
So Eli wants to do a backyard barbecue for his birthday. It's so funny that because his birthday's coming up like
Mhm.
next week. And
Mhm.
he said a couple months ago, and I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? He's like, I'd like to have a barbecue. And you invite all your friends. I'm like,
Aw, that's
that
so
is the
sweet.
sweetest thing ever. So if we do a backyard barbecue, we'll invite you.
Aw,
Maybe do
thanks.
some chicken, some wings or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
something on the grill.
You know what Colton does the best that you want him to bring
Yeah.
is he makes twice baked potatoes the
Oh,
best.
good
They're
idea.
so good. They're so good.
Yes, I volunteer him as tribute for twice baked potatoes.
He's always looking for an excuse to make twice baked potatoes because you can't make them for two people. Like you got to
No.
make them for a lot more than that.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. Do
And
it.
you know what? I believe that you have enough friends that we could maybe have enough people
I
if
think
we
so.
invite them all to eat twice baked potatoes and then maybe play running charades.
Yes. Wait, but now what is running charades? Do you have
Have
to
you never heard
run?
me talk about running charades? Oh my gosh, it's the
No.
most fun game ever. We used to play it because I had enough friends when I lived in Utah. Now I don't have enough friends, but I had enough
Oh
friends back
no.
then that we would invite like 15 people over to my house, and then you get placed on teams and you section the different teams in the different parts of the house, and then directly in the middle of the two sections of the house is where the list maker is. And then the list maker, I lived in a split level house before, and so like one group went upstairs and one group went downstairs, and the person sat in the middle like landing where between the stairs. And so one group had to run up the stairs. And anyway, so okay, so the list maker, they make a list of 10 things, right? And then each of the teams sends a runner to the list maker and gets the thing on the list and takes it back to their team. And then whoever guesses goes and gets the next thing on the list. Whichever team finishes the list first wins. And most of the time I play with like grown-ups only. So we do like ridiculous things that people have to like mime out. And then on top of that, we're like throwing elbows, we're like shoving people out of the way. It gets really intense.
Oh my gosh. So it's like they have to find things, or it's just
No,
like
you
just
just
act
you
it
have
out.
so you just go and do regular charades. Like you
Okay.
you act it out. You can't say so like it's a list of things and it's like hot dog, paper towels, Hawaii, rainbows,
Okay.
like whatever the 10 things on the random list are, and then the person has to get the thing from the list and then run back to their team and act out whatever the word was until they guess it. And then whoever guesses it has to run to the and get the next thing from the list and act it out.
That's awesome. Okay. That's really cool.
It's my goal to have enough friends
Well,
one
I think
day
we
to
could pull
play
that off.
again. I
I
think
think
you
we could
could.
pull
You're
that
way
off.
more popular than I am.
Especially if I tell everybody that they should feel sorry for me and come to my kids' barbecue.
Yeah, I'm a tornado refugee. Come to my kids' party, and then we're gonna play this game.
Dude, when we first moved in here, Gus turned 3, and I knew it would be the first birthday that he would remember, but we really didn't have anybody that would celebrate with us. So we like conned our neighbors into coming and singing to him in our garage. Like we put it out on the porch so they didn't have to actually like make too much of an effort, but we're like, we have cake right here. Come, come
Come
and
eat
sing
this
to us.
cake from the outside of my house.
It was so funny, but it's so funny too because he remembers it. He remembers that cake. He remembers when everybody came and sang to him. Because I was
Aw.
like, neighbors, you're gonna come and sing to this little kid, and you're gonna like it.
Listen, neighbors, you're gonna come over. You're gonna play this game, and you're gonna like it.
Oh my goodness. It was worth it. It was worth it. The things you do.
We also we didn't even talk about how we were scheming. We were scheming so hard to get our husbands to be friends and they refused.
They are still friends though. They now I think they're even closer because
Because
they're like they're talking to each other.
they're I yes, talking about how we were scheming against them
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. And it was funny though because I told Jed he was gonna say something weird, and I was like, "Don't say anything weird, just be normal," you know. And then Colton was like, "Yeah, I think you told him and made him think that I was weird," and I was like, "No, he was just being weird."
Yeah. So what happened is Colton and Caitlin's husband were texting, and then as they were texting, like I was like going back and forth from being on the phone with Colton to being on the phone with Caitlin. And so I would be like, okay, Jed just said this and Colton said this. And then you have to tell Jed to say this. And then I'm gonna tell Colton to say this. Like it was like when we were in high school trying to get our parents to like come like let us sleep over. But it was our husbands and we're grown-ups. And so I like Colton was on the phone with me and he was like, I don't know what you just told Caitlin to tell Jed to tell me, but I think this is getting weird. And then I told Caitlin that. And she was like, I told him he was being weird.
At least he could be his true self.
Yes,
He is
it
weird.
is true. And you know what? It's fine because Colton's weird too, and I love him for it.
Yeah. You gotta be a little weird. You know, life is weird.
If you got to be with us weirdos, you got to be a little weird.
Yeah. So, um, I was thinking about it. I don't know if I was only tasked with this or if I can like employ your help as well. But I was tasked with decorating for the ball or whatever it is, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I could pull that off. So, but
It's it's funny if you know what she's talking about. Okay, so we're doing this like black tie event for Arkansas Podcast Collaborative that we're like working on for like planning purposes, and all of a sudden Caitlin is in charge of decorations, and we don't know why. But she keeps trying to like get me to help her. I'm like, I didn't sign up for that.
I didn't sign up for it either. I'm like, it'll be fine. We don't need decorations.
She just every time decorations come up in the when we're like talking about it amongst like the group of us, she's like, you know, it's really pretty great looking without decorations. You don't really need them. It's a really nice building.
Just get some tablecloths. That's good.
Oh man, it's funny.
I know how to do a cheap show. I know how, like, I did a DIY wedding, so I
I
guess this is up my alley.
Yeah. Well, I did a DIY wedding too. But
Yeah.
I also throw events for a living, so I like know some tricks of the trade. But
You should
am
be
I
in charge
willing?
of the
Am I willing
decorating.
to take it on? No.
Damn
Listen,
it.
maybe in like a month or two we
Okay,
could
that's
discuss
what
it.
I'm
But
thinking
right
too.
now my plate is super full. And you know what? Just blame it on being a tornado
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is
refugee.
the perfect excuse to get out of that.
Except for
Just
Ty
be
to
like,
listen to my podcast.
You think he listens? Ty, are you
I don't
listening?
think it does. Ty, are you listening? Ty, text me if you listen and tell me what you think about this.
he
Ty doesn't listen. No way. 1,000%.
he won't admit that he will that he does if he did.
Yeah, I think so.
I
But
think he'd be like, no,
he
that's
may
for
text
girls.
me if yeah. He may text me if he does though. He's he's inclusive. I don't know. I don't know about this dude. I don't know. I should just stop talking.
For fear that he's listening.
I know. I've already dug my hole too deep. I'm just gonna Ty. We really appreciate all the work that you're doing.
And we're gonna help out in any way we can.
Yeah, we do. We do. We're just having a moment of funniness. I was just feel. What is that one TikTok time? He's like, I was just in a silly, goofy mood.
I'm always
Yeah.
in a silly, goofy mood.
I was just in a silly, goofy mood.
That's how you should live your life. Oh my goodness, my cheeks hurt.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a pretty. You can't top that. That's a
Are
pretty
you
good
even at a
spot.
Saturday night sleepover if your cheeks don't hurt from
I
laughing?
know, right? Oof.
Oh my
Same.
goodness. Ugh.
Okay. Well, I think that is a perfect high note to end this episode on. Is there anything else you wanted to share that you didn't get a chance to?
I think that's all I got in me today. But yeah,
Okay.
super grateful for all the people that have
Yes.
been coming up, showing up, and making life fun.
Well, if you want to donate to the Wellnest relief efforts, where can people find that?
I mean, we don't really have like a donation thing, but if you like want to maybe like buy a gift card or something, you can go to the Wellnest, the T dot shop, and like shop with us. That'd be cool.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
support the Wellnest because
yeah.
they're killing it, and they're small business owners, and they're women, and it's women owned, and it's all the things, and it's a refillery, and it's
We were
amazing,
even
and they
laughing about
are in
how,
need.
yes, how woman owned we are. Even when we were doing the tear down and everything, our husbands were either with kids or at work, and we're like, this really is woman owned. We're the women doing this. Where are our men? Not around.
Hey, they were doing work too. They're just
They
in a
were
different
working.
place.
Yeah, you're right. We couldn't do it without them, but it was women. Women run the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, for sure. So if you want to support some awesome women-owned business that is currently refugeeing in the refugee state of a tornado, you can go to the
Placed.
Wellnest shop and
Yes.
buy a gift card.
Yeah. Cool. Thank
Cool.
you.
You're welcome. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and listen to the next one and like, share, follow, and leave a review or go to sleepoverpod.com and send me a message. Or you could do it on social media too. I never know how to end these things. I gotta have like a thing memorized at some point. But anyway, do all the things. Be good to each other, and thank you for listening. We love you. Okay, bye. Bye.